Continue.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Screaming Cinema Podcast. We have a cool episode today where we're going to be talking about a label, some movies that they have, and highlighting a couple of our recent favorites on there. This is going to be an episode on MVD Rewind Collection from MVD. So to start with here, we're joined by James Cole Clay. What's up, man?
Hey man, what is up? I have a lot of movies. That's my thing.
I like it. And also Preston Barta is back with us again. Always happy to have you, man. How's it going?
It's going well. Thanks for having me again.
You put us all to shame because you have all 27 movies of MVD Rewind. So it's got a nice stack there.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of it since the first email that I got for DOA, Dead or Alive, a Rite of Passage. So I loved them so much that when I was working at an ad agency a few years ago, every Friday we had to do a presentation on something that's marketing related and find a way to just incorporate it into the company in some capacity. I did a whole hour presentation on my MVD Rewind collection, just based off of the design of them and like how much attention to detail goes into it. So yeah, I'm a big fan, and so I'm glad they never stopped and are continuing to go and finding new and inventive ways to make it more exciting as a collector, especially as me and James are big VHS collectors. So it's really hitting the heart.
That's awesome. What's your relationship or background with the Rewind Collection, Cole?
I pretty much off mic just now. We were talking about. I was like, Preston's the one that kind of like let me know this world existed, like just by. I think it was The Thing. I think that's what I was talking about off mic. It was when The Thing came out from Screen Factory, and then I just remember he's like, "It's awesome, but it's a pit." And I was like, okay. So then I just kind of dove into that pit. And I went to a store that we love to go to that movie trading company. I was like, should I say what it's called or do I want to keep it to myself? But I went to that store with Preston and I bought a copy of Serial Mom. So anyway, suffice to say, I started really getting into these because I was like, this is really random. It's, a post Best Buy world is what I say over text to people about it, where I'm just not going to Best Buy and like getting the new releases every Tuesday or whatever. It's kind of in a different way. This is more of like a curation, and it's more of just like, quality definitely may vary to people on some of the movies that we mentioned, but the thing is with that is like it's kind of sets up like a whole aesthetic, and that's what I like. It's like a mood board. So like on my Instagram, I just love like sharing photos of just things that like are evocative, and that's what every single one of these movies. Doesn't matter if it's Double Dragon or if it's something that's really good in the MVD Rewind collection or whatever other label, like it's still evocative of something. It gives you a feeling, and that's the point of it. So my relationship pretty much is I've been an admirer from afar, and then now I've dipped my toe in with a few movies that came out very late last year. And then as we started recording, I bought one on eBay just now, like 2 minutes ago. So
nice.
I bought one that we were just talking about that I'm sure Preston will mention, or in passing at least. But so that's pretty much it. I only have like 4 of them, I guess now, but I'm familiar with all of them in the collection, but there's 27. So
yeah, we're just on Spine 27 and I pulled it up and I can't figure out, did they like change the style for this most recent one on Action U.S.A? Because I have it here and says Eric's Video Club, and then the size of it is not the same. So to the OCD people there, you have the number lower and the thing smaller, unless I just got a misprint. Maybe these are misprint ones. I don't know. It could be.
Well,
it looks like.
Let's see what
mine doesn't have anything on. Oh no, it is, but it just looks kind of like weirdly double-sided.
Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be a VHS tape, but the side thing is
like, yeah, it's like very bulky. Yeah.
Maybe they're just doing something new, but that stresses me out. That number is
it's a little. Yeah, I didn't even notice that really, because I haven't put Action USA and Drive on my shelf yet. But Drive matches up. But yeah, 27 Action USA does not, and so yeah, that aggravates me a little bit.
Let's see Drive. Who's got it? I haven't gotten this movie, so I've just heard it's so cool. People on Twitter have been talking about it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's got cool artwork.
Yeah, it's awesome. And as a fan of The Sixth Man, I double want to see this movie.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in between both of you. I think I've started getting them around 20. So I think I have like 7, maybe, and have one that I bought from the earlier one. So definitely don't have them all, which I would like. It looks nice when you have the numbered set, and especially with that cool aesthetic. So yeah, it's a cool unique label, because some of MVD's other stuff, which we can talk about, doesn't have quite the amount of special features, but they really try to do, you know, that Shout Factory, that Criterion treatment where you get a poster. The only thing that they do have kind of lame is just the main white disc on them. But for the features on the few that I'm talking about, I mean, you have obviously the new transfer and some of the new audio, but have new making of, you have new interviews, have, you know, some of the older stuff as well. So I like that. And I also like the reversible alternative sleeve artwork to go with it. It's always a big bonus for me.
That's my thing. I love the reversible artwork. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole mood. It's awesome. It rules. You just open it up. Like, I haven't seen Gun Crazy, but like, you open it up and you just see like, yeah, it's very evocative of the time and everything like that. And it's cool. And Drew Barrymore looks really cool. And, you know, I like independent movies and I like James LeGros. I mean, like, I don't know. It really takes you back. You know, that's what
I will say that the earliest ones like DOA, it does not. It has when you open it for the reversible, they just have like different stuff in there, like a normal one would have.
That's cool though.
Yeah, they do some fun artwork in it that's inside, so it's meant for you to just kind of keep it. I guess Vestron started off like that too.
Oh yeah,
a little more adventurous.
Yeah, I have my opinions about Vestron for sure.
Are they back? Because they went away for a while and then
they did 2, and then they didn't do anything else.
Yeah, they kind of went
2
back.
good ones.
Yeah,
I do like Monsters. Is good.
I do like my copy of Chopping Mall.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Oh man, what I was gonna say about them too is, what's the most rare one of these in the MVD Rewind collection?
I'm not sure. I don't know what's
I would say
limited
ones.
Do what?
Probably just the earliest ones. Like, I actually started with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, which is the second one. So
right.
DOA had just came out just a little bit before that, and so I was able to go to Movie Trade & Co. and find it.
Yeah.
And so like now I can't find any of them. Like when the new ones come out, like they probably sit at Movie Trade & Co. for probably like 2 months and they're gone.
Yeah,
you can't find them at that point. But I'm not sure like what their life is like on like Amazon and things like that.
Right. That's that's what I rely on, is online ordering at this point.
Yeah, it looks like Return of the Swamp Thing 50.
That one's cool. Double Impact,
Lionheart 50, Nemesis, like the 2 sets together around 80. So some of the ones go a little bit high up there.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Anything with Jean-Claude Van Damme that isn't like a pristine thing like that is yeah. I mean, Lionheart and Double Impact are like 2 of his like best, I think. But
yeah,
and I don't have those, and I really want them. I have them on VHS, but not that. So I definitely want those. I just kept seeing Double Impact, and I didn't know if anything was any more rare than that. Also, Double Impact was like $50 right now on eBay with a slipcover. So, you know, if you're into that, you know, you can get it, or you can save $25, but you got to get the slipcover with it. That's what makes these damn things so cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, I just didn't know if any of them were really rare, just because, you know, like off mic, Max and I were talking about like Return of the Living Dead from Scream Factory, like is like what would you say the slipcover was like itself was how much, Max?
They had one that sold for like 75, and then there was a brand new copy of the movie with the posters for 200 that sold.
That's so gnarly.
The sleepaway camp ones were going for a while there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid $75 for my copy of Sleepaway Camp last summer. I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
I
it
got
was a lot,
into
but it's
I
a
got
great
into
movie.
Scream Factory too late, where I have so many without slips. I just can't go into that rabbit hole. I haven't organized
Dude,
slips first and then the rest not slips, and that'll be fine.
I got in like at the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And that was the very beginning of, I think, 2018. So yeah, that's when I did. And Preston would be like, oh, you need this? Okay, here's Lake Placid, it's $40 on eBay. He would like throw me these like touchdown passes from
Yep.
across Texas. Like, yeah, it was cool. It was cool. He'd be like, yo, here's that. So I would get them for like these really good deals because I had peepers out there. So I need to be on the lookout. If you send me a wish list, I'm always on eBay, dude, like every day doing that stuff, tracking these things down. And now since I'm getting more into these, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm kind of trying to build a nice little roster there of them, and they know what they're doing, dude. Like their numbers, people love that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
look at Criterion. I mean,
It's got the stickers too, like
Shout
the
Select.
genre type. Yep.
Yeah, it's great. The only thing with Shout Select is they've broken. Not all of them have slip covers, but they still get the number, which I think is bogus. But
Well,
whatever.
Criterion numbers, you're playing an unwinnable game there too. They're like,
Yeah, there's some you can't even get. I mean,
and they're out of order too. Like you'll get a new one that's like in the lower numbers, and the older one
Yeah.
that's like 875. So
yeah, they'll do re-releases.
let's talk about a couple of them and kind of showcase them, and then we can talk about what we have upcoming from MVD Rewind and maybe touch on Marquee Collection as well.
Please.
Let's start out with a true horror. We kind of picked thriller, genre, mystery, tried to get as horror as you can from the collection. So the first one that came to mind for me is Mind Games. It's got the little sticker on there, mystery thriller, kind of like we were talking about too, like a pretend video tape sticker. Highlights that it has the collector's edition. For this particular one, there's a making of. That's a feature-length retrospective of the movie, and have interviews from the stars and producer. There is an interview, Bob Yari, Portrait of a Producer, which is in a 33-minute retrospective on the career of the producer who also did Crash, Illusionist, and Find Me Guilty. And then it's got a trailer and the alternate artwork in the mini poster. So just opening up this one.
Wait, hold on. Like, which Crash?
2005.
Oh, Paul Haggis did this movie?
Producer.
Oh, okay. I was
2
steps behind. I was like, what?
Oh, no. But yeah, it's the producer. So there's the alternate artwork. And then, like I mentioned, I like everything. The only thing is there must be some reason for it. Just the white disc. I feel like they could have done something cooler with that, like some video cassette tape or something. But
at least put the artwork on there, like the resized artwork.
Yep, and then they come with the new posters, mini posters of the new artwork. So,
dude, if I was a teenager, I would like be hanging those up with tacks like all around my room.
Oh, me too.
I used to do stuff like that.
I try to do that now with my wife, and she X-nays it. So we keep it to the we keep it to inside the case.
How many are you allowed now?
I have a movie room where I have 3 up there, and then I have a couple in the bedroom. So that's about it.
Yeah, I need to put some more money into posters, like for sure. They're really cool. I would like to have, like, I was trying to petition to get when they were available, these Mondo posters of like Freddy number 4 or 5, something like that. They just did these really awesome, like, sideways. I don't even know the dimensions or even how to say it, but rectangular.
Yeah, there's the horizontal one from the first.
There we go.
The house,
it's something like that. Yeah, they were really cool. I think one of them was like a wave. We saw it at maybe Frightmare, but so that's the one. Yeah, and so I wanted to do something like that at one point, but that's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
So not maybe 1 or 2 in the living room. I think I have a Nicholas Winding Refn poster in there, so that's great for me. So
Yeah, the mini ones are cool, and you're totally right. If you're, a kid, it'd be perfect to put up in the room, or
But
that kind of style. Maybe not even
there,
kid. I say that. I see some people on Instagram's collection where they just have like every piece of wall space dedicated to art,
yeah, that's
and they'll frame everything that comes in. But
uh,
the movie Mind Games, I had really high expectations for it due to this cover. I'm like, this is awesome, but it's essentially like a family drama. We have a main couple who's on the rocks of their marriage. The wife's mad that she's just a housewife and that her husband kind of gets to do things. So they go out on a camping trip with their son. They meet a hitchhiker who's this like, young, attractive looking dude, and he becomes buddies with the son, starts to get him
Like
to,
the guest.
yes, like the guest,
nice. Oh,
starts to get him into some mischievous activities, as well as trying to hook up with the wife, and we kind of go from there as to, I don't want to spoil the movie, but kind of an interesting setup. And I did like it. It just, a lot of it is literally just the couple, the parents arguing or fighting, and then him coming in to mess with his son, have him smash up a house near the campsite, or have him get into some bad business.
Yeah, he kills a dog.
Yeah, he does.
oh, that's so messed up. Oh man, I watched Single White Female, and there was a really bad dog killing in that movie too, and it really kind of it's traumatizing. I'm like, you brought me to the movies to kill the dog. I just it makes me mad.
Oh
I hate
yeah.
that.
Well, I was watching The Marksman, and I always liked, if you guys don't know
Oh,
it, doesthedogdie.com. Great
oh
resource.
yes.
As
Yeah, I
soon as you
forgot.
see a
Yeah.
dog and it's like a movie in peril, you check it out. The answer is almost always no. And when it's yes, you're like, what? Like, what are you guys doing?
Wes
It's
Anderson, man.
yeah, it's yeah, never a good sign. But what's your take on the movie, Preston?
Pretty much the same. I think that's pretty much like what a lot of my relationship is with horror, especially when I was a kid, when you would look at these covers and you would wonder what the hell they're about. And then you watch them, they're like, I don't know. But I guess that's what's kind of special about MVD Rewind, that you kind of it's a roll of the dice a little bit on the quality of the film. Like they look good, and all the down to like what it looks like as a film, and then the aesthetics of the cover art and everything. It very much leans into like what makes VHS special. But there are times where you're going to come across one and it's maybe not going to live up to it. There's going to be good things about it, but yeah, it can disappoint you from time to time story wise. But it's all part of the fun of it. I'm very much into these films just because I come from marketing. I love the design. Like that's where I love like reading the content on the back just to kind of see like how it all aligns with it. Mondo has a lot of fun with that, where they throw some puns in there and things like that.
Yeah.
But they get some cool stuff. Like there's some really good. I remember there being some really good extras with like Bob Yari, like talking about making the film, and the main actor Maxwell Caulfield, like he was in Grease too, and so he was talking about like how people didn't really see him in this kind of role, and so he just kind of had a little bit of fun with it, but still felt uneasy and creepy about it, especially by what happens in the end of the film. Um, so yeah, it just happens. There's going to be things about it that aren't going to be great. A lot of annoyances in this film. There's some things where I'm like, where the wife makes a decision. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what the hell are you thinking? But that goes across, with everybody else. So yeah, they can be fun, but yeah, with that one, it's probably, I don't know, like a 2 out of 5
Oh
movie.
damn.
But there's the extras, they make up for it. Like there's some good stuff there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean that
That's
feature length behind the or making of Mind Games is longer than the movie. I think it's an hour
Yeah,
47.
yeah, yeah. So there's your perfect example of that.
All right, what do you got?
The So I've long said that my favorite one is went to Coney Island on a what's the whole long title? Went to Coney Island on a mission from God because be back by 5. Really great movie. But the one that surprised me the most, just because, in terms of like genre, is Nemesis, the original Nemesis, and MVD has gone on to do Nemesis 2, 3, and 4. But this one, directed by Albert Pyun, like he did Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. So it's going to be difficult for me to try to explain what kind of director he is, but he's the kind that has like he's seen so many action movies. I don't want to compare him to Tommy Wiseau, but there's just like something about him where he's more into like, what is this Hollywood enough? Like I feel like he's probably asking those questions to himself as he's directing it. But there's some good stuff where like he's probably like a really damn good stunt coordinator. If you watch Cyborg, there's some stunts in there. I mean, mainly just because Jean-Claude Van Damme's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but there's some fight sequences that are really well done, and he uses the camera to kind of lean into that a bit. So Nemesis is very much one of those films where it's another like cyborg cop movie. So kind of like a knockoff of RoboCop in a way, but it kind of is set in this dystopian landscape. But like Waterworld, like Mad Max, there's some characters in there that are super rich or like feel that they're a part of some sort of world that's comparable, where like I don't know where they come from, but they are dangerous right from the get-go. And so there's some sequences where somebody fires a gun and he'll have a camera. Don't know how he did this back in 1992 when this came out, and it has a camera like as if it's the bullet, like the POV of the bullet, and it goes into a person. There's another sequence where the central character falls through, no kidding, like 3 stories of a building, and the camera falls with him. They're doing like what Bourne Identity and the whole Bourne series did before it became popularized. So I don't know. There's some action-wise, there's some stuff that they were very innovative that just pretty much just went unnoticed because it's not. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
That's fine.
That they were doing that just people didn't pick up on it because it didn't have like the biggest star in it. So it had Olivia Grunner in it. There must be somebody walking a dog right in front of my house. So I'll mute myself.
Oh, that's cool. I actually have never seen any of those movies before, so I don't know if those are easily available to pick up from there, but those look awesome because I know they have the first one and then the next 3 on a separate release, right?
Yeah, so after watching the first one, I was like, that was pretty good. I mean, story-wise, there's not a lot of connected tissue there. Like, it's not going to float your boat.
It's fine. It's
but
fine.
action-wise,
Yeah.
there's some good stuff in there. And so when I got to 2, 3, and 4, like just like the artwork, like for the third one, the middle one, I believe that's the stunt guy or maybe it's like Chad Stahelski. I'm pretty sure he's involved with it. It's not listed on here. I know he's involved in one of these. Like he's like the main villain,
Nice.
the John Wick guy. So I'm gonna butcher that, but anyway, he there's also some good stuff here and there, but they get worse. They start doing digital effects because that's cheaper to do than some of the practical effects.
What year are those?
It's pretty much like watching like Mortal Kombat, but like on steroids, or like the special effects are comparable to like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Nice.
So they get worse, but like just exploring that world and some of the like little ideas that he has, they're pretty interesting. But I will say that after you finish the movie, you're not going to be like, oh, that's something that I'm going to put into my rotation every year. What's the true purpose of really owning this? But it's pretty much just being a fan of this entire collection. And but the extras on this, it is Chad Stahelski. He plays the cyborg bounty hunter named Nebula. So he's the guy that kind of looks like Lord Zed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Buff.
That's cool. See, I kind of like diving into franchises like that. I picked up, I know we were talking about the Vesteron, the Wishmaster collection that they put out, and I did it in like a weekend where I was like, all right, watch the first one, and then you get to the fourth one, and you're like, I just need to finish this because I've already watched 3 of them. I can do this. But same thing with some of those special effects that they have. It's just so bad, but it's so fun to watch now, especially with some of the movies like that. So I can definitely get behind checking out a
They're fun to
franchise.
talk about. They're fun to talk about because Cole and I, when we started doing like Mill Creek, they put out like that whole like mud sharks and Santa Jaws and everything. They're so dumb, but you have so much fun with them, especially
so
if you
much
them
fun
with the right people.
Yeah, and if you like know, I mean, that director that Preston was talking about, like, yeah, he's a strange guy. I don't know how to be like really nice about it, but like on the special features for Cyborg on the Scream Factory release, and you can also see it on the Canon documentary. He's on it. He's really concerned with it having a certain image rather than doing like what's coming from him. Is this going to mean it looks like this? But also at that time, working with Van Damme was like not easy. He was really like still really cocky, even though that was like one of his first big ones. So like that director is like really cracks me up. I was like laughing thinking about him. I like him. I would totally talk to him. He's cool, but like he is just, he's kind of dorky, and it's just really funny to kind of to remember that. But like with movies like, so did Nemesis even come to theaters? The first one, was it straight to VHS or anything?
I'm not entirely sure. I know that probably 2, 3, and 4 did, because I remember mentioning something on one of the extras talking about like, I think he made like 3 and 4 back to back or something like that. It had to deal with just like getting like the funding worked out that way, and he had to make them like kind of cut the budget on both, and so that's pretty much like why the quality went down. But I'm not entirely sure about the first one.
It's like limited release, 2 million at the box office, and then released on VHS and Laserdisc the same year.
That's
cool. That sounds about right. I mean, but there are good late 80s and 90s straight to video movies. There are some that are good. So I mean, that's what's fun about like parsing through them, because there's things to like about some of these movies. There's a movie that I like called Project Metal Beast, and it's awesome. It's just look it up. It's really cool, and it's a straight to video movie. But anyway,
I have another early 90s one we'll talk about in a second too. So
all right, cool. I guess I can take it away here. I don't know. I haven't seen this movie, but I own it. It's called Mikey. Let's see. It's got that kid from Brian Bonsall. Yeah, from Blank Check, which I loved as a kid. But remember Jason and Freddy were kids. Whoa, no, here it is. Sorry, I totally had the wrong tone for that. Remember Jason and Freddy were once kids too. Mikey. On the back, it says, from the producers of Point Break would like to introduce ... Mikey. So anyway, it's really cheesy. It's got that dad in it. He looks really familiar. John Deal, I think is who that guy is. But yeah, I think it's about a killer kid. I'm cool with that. I don't know anything about it.
I haven't seen that one.
No, I hadn't either.
It's kind of similar to Mind Games.
Really?
I mean, if you have like a in terms of quality, I mean, the cover alone is leaning into the thing that is like making its rounds on memes, where like they were a perfect family.
Yeah.
Until, so yeah, it's pretty much like, like The Orphan and things like that, where you kind of know. But there's or a Good Son.
The Good Son. So that's what I was gonna say. It's like The Good Son. So I mean, I'll go through the back really quick. It says Mikey Kelvin has been a bad boy, only nobody knows exactly how bad. Tragic and deadly accidents seem to happen all around Mikey. Okay, I think we're getting where this is going.
Yep.
So from foster family to foster family, from school to school, Damien, from school to school he goes, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. Of course, everyone knows Mikey is just a sweet, misunderstood little boy. But remember, Jason and Freddy were once kids too. It's like they had a tagline, and then we're like, oh, we got a fucking log line for a movie. Okay, what's the story gonna be?
Yep.
It probably was a producer's note, and then they
Probably.
made it into a movie.
Cool.
Don't quote me
Right
on
on. Yeah. Don't quote me. I ain't said shit. But yeah, this looks dope. I mean, I'm gonna check it out. It looks funny to me. I like that it exists. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say because I haven't seen it, but I own it. I need to watch it. Shout out to MVD for sending this to me when I asked for it months after it was released. So that was really cool.
That's like the most Owen Wilson answer, or Hansel. Like, I like Sting, but I don't really listen to his music.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's making it, that right on.
Yeah, man, that's kind of how I feel. That's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, this is cool. Thank you so much. I'm happy about it. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
really all I have to say
get the
about
files from in the computer.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, I guess I can go move on to mine then. I watched Split Second from 1992. The kind of like the opening scene that you have on the movie when you put it on, it's like a complete bloodbath. So I was excited about it. Heard good things. Rucker Hauer obviously stars in it. This artwork on this one is probably one of my favorites that they have. I mean, you got the alien bicycle helmet looking creature.
Oh man, yeah, that is cool.
Much better than the reversible one I think we were showing earlier, but
With the
yeah.
rubber monster back there.
Yep, exactly. But checking the movie out, it's definitely an early 90s. It's like an American British buddy cop that relies heavily on the humor. Rucker Hauer, all he does is smoke cigarettes, and like I don't even know if he eats anything. He's eating chocolate. He's just, I don't even know what they say. It's like, oh, you're just always like really amped up. And they kind of make it a joke about it because at one point his detective partner who's with him starts to do the same thing after he sees the monster. He just like grabs a cigar out of his mouth and starts smoking it and starts chugging coffee to kind of get the humor. But it's set in 2008 in the future from back in the day. It's kind of cool and random. It's
Obama.
it's set in London. So they're on the River Thames and it floods, and that's kind of where the scenery is for all of it. They're taking these jeeps and vehicles through flooded towns, and this creature is like a subterranean creature that kind of pops up from the sewers underneath houses. So the creature is cool. In theory, it's literally just an alien ripoff with a biker helmet on it. It's tall, it's got size, which is cool, but it's not revealed to the very end of the movie, and it's not great. Kind of just stands still, but I like the idea behind it. There's some really cool guns in this. That's my favorite thing in it. He's got this big blaster, and they both get like these automatic shotgun, like chain gun machine guns that are cool. So there's some good, back and forth with him. And obviously, like I mentioned, the artwork is cool and the release is cool. It's also loaded up with features. It's got an audio commentary from a film historian, great big bloody guns, a 27-minute featurette on the gun, Call Me Mr. Snips interview with the composer for 23 minutes, Stay in Line interview with the line producer for 23 minutes, interview with the creature effects designer, interview with the cinematographer, and then they also have a bunch of the original 1992 featurettes too. So it's definitely packed with added features. I didn't get to watch much of it, but it's you could spend a good day just checking out all these. So that's Split Second.
Rad. I guess to boost some quality up in here,
right?
Get the Jean-Claude Van Damme Lionheart, since we're talking about him. Like, this is definitely one of the best ones in the MVD Rewind collection. I think most people know what it is or are familiar with it. So I think this was one of the ones that probably went the quickest, just because it's arguably one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's best movie. It still really holds up really well. But I was just kind of going to go through that. I think that's probably like one of the best movies in terms of genre that they hold. But I think aesthetically, one of my favorite ones is My Samurai. This was one of the ones where they did it to make it look like whenever you go on eBay and you want to find a specific title, say it's RoboCop. Oh, they don't have it in its like original form. The video store cut it and put it in like a clamshell case.
Yep.
This is what this one's doing. So My Samurai has like a white clamshell look, and then it has like easy video, one night rental, and all that. And then even on the back, it continues all the way across. So I think this was one of their
Okay. Yeah,
best
that's
designed ones.
same to the Action USA one we were just talking about, where it shows like the video store, and this looks like kind of the same thing where you put maybe like just cut the piece off of the front and put it on a red clamshell. That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't know what to make of this.
so it's like they depends on like where they. I don't know. I've never spoken to the people who create the MVD Rewind Collection, but I would love to do that sometime. But they like that looks beautiful, but then when you open it up, it's just a blank white on the inside. So that's probably all the money went into commissioning that, most likely. And another inconsistency you'll find is that if you're collecting all of them, some of them are made with blue, like the blue casing, and then they'll have the clear one. So
the clear ones are where it's at.
Yeah, Twilight Time, another distributor, had that too, like where they went all out and got the clear cases, but then every once in a while, depending on funding of these films, they would lose it and they would have to go to the blue ones.
Arrow had that issue only once, I think. I remember I got one of them in there when they had it that way, and it was same thing, like just couldn't get a source of the clear cases, but those are definitely the best.
Yeah,
that's so funny, like bringing up Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's a 4K release of Hard Target that's coming out from Kino Lorber. And it just kind of, I mean, for people who are into physical media, this news kind of like got to be controversial. Some people were like, well, it's not the right cut. And then like Kino Lorber really went off on their Twitter, like in a good way. I liked what they were saying. They were just like, look, we had to work with John Woo. If we wanted to get an interview with him, we had to do this cut, the transfer on there. He's like, people are like, well, what about the work print? They're like, look, the work print is a VHS copy. We're not dirtying up our beautiful disc with something like that.
You're not going to use a work print in a 4K disc. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's so dumb. And so to me, it's like, look, it is what it is. It may not be the exact cut that you want, but some people get so, or way more, I don't want to say picky. That has like such a negative connotation, but they're so caught up on that sort of stuff, which I'm cool with that. I mean, Almost Famous is getting a release, but I would have been sad if the bootleg edition wasn't on there, but it is. So anyway, I was just like, look, this is just cool. This exists. There's a new interview from John Woo. It's on 4K. I mean, I'm pretty stoked for it. There's just things that I think that some people value over others, but I was just like, this is awesome. All these Jean-Claude Van Dammes are coming to like pristine Blu-ray. Like that's pretty great.
Oh yeah.
To me. So
I do like watching those alt versions, even if Exorcist 3, like you watch the director's cut of that, and then it is like VHS, because a lot of the time those deleted scenes and things like that, they're lost. They're completely lost, and they only have them on backup tapes, and so they have to transfer those backup tapes, and that compresses the footage, and then when they try to put it on a disc and blow it out again, it looks like crap. And so, for instance, on King Kong, the 1976 or 70s version, when there's a TV edit on there, and TV edits, it's the 4:3, but they already restored it in its complete, wide frame 16:9. And then when you try to expand that footage out, you get they use like different shots or recycle shots over again, because they're trying to add to that time length, or to the length of time. And so you'll watch a shot where some guy's stepping into frame, and then the next moment he's approaching again. But if you were to watch the TV, you would not see that guy at all, because they cropped him out entirely.
Yeah.
And so you'll see it again. So you'll encounter problems like that. You just kind of have to go with the flow.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So I appreciate the passion and everything that went into trying to make these like more complete versions or alt versions that have been available across history. But sometimes it doesn't always pan out. But they are interesting to see.
That's cool. I got an Arrow disc in recently, Nightmare City. It's an Italian horror movie, and they had a damaged original camera negative. So they give you two choices. Like, do you want to watch the brand new 2K restoration where it has some yellow splotching and color, or they give you a high def transfer of the 35 millimeter dupe negative. So the quality is not as good. So I appreciate, working with what they find, doing the best on it, giving you options. It's, we're lucky to have all these things on such good quality. So it's not like you can be too picky about it.
Yeah, and they probably find a lot of these through, hey guys, we're gonna make, the point. We're gonna reach out to Ringo Starr. We're gonna reach out to all these other people, and then they may say, hey, I actually have some of Harry Nilsson's early recordings. Nobody else has it, and then they'll throw that on there.
Yeah.
So it's cool that probably a good chunk of some of the extras that are put out there is just saying like, hey, I have this. Do you want to put that on there? Yeah, sure. Just put it on there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, Preston, when you were talking to Cooper from Shithouse, like he was probably to IFC, hey, I have my short film. I want people to see that. Will you throw that on the disc? They're like, sure. That's like an example of that. And like but the thing is like when you're releasing these movies that are 35, 40 years old, or 30 years old, whatever, like the thing is, if you're reaching out to the composer or whatever to do this, like these people that are like producing these discs and like getting it together, reaching out to all these people, they don't know what they're going to find.
No.
And so they're having fun playing detective too, in a way. That's kind of what you're doing. But the thing is like you have to, I mean, with COVID and everything, that you have to make you got to edit these things keenly, and some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
So that's been the thing.
They'll let the tape roll, and they won't cut anything out. Especially, I mean, that's been a problem. That's something that James and I have been talking about with some of these extras that have been put out by Scream Factory. That you'll watch it, and they'll have all these interviews with like the stunt coordinator, the key grip guy, and all this, and they have really interesting stories, but
condense
they need to break them down. And
yeah,
so
exactly.
watching like some of the stuff that Arrow puts out and some of the content that is included in MVD Rewind Collection, they will put in some of the behind the scenes footage. They'll find some of that extra stuff to make it spice it up a little bit so they can make those good breaks.
Yeah, they need to.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's about like, getting having everything curated properly. You don't just want to have 4 hours of interviews that you're never going to watch. Give me like 1 30-minute with all of the special features, people, and throw in some video of it. So I definitely, when I see lists like that, I'm like, that's cool. Looks good on the back, a huge, massive list. But do I want a 40-minute interview with the composer who I have no idea what he's composed before? Probably not.
Right. Yeah. When you can just get like really interesting snippets and get to know them through those interesting bites that are like poignant and tight. And
they'll start with their career. They'll go through the whole timeline, and then halfway through they get to the movie. I feel like they can get to the movie first, and then we can learn more about them throughout that.
Right. Get the context, because I let's say it's the Explorers. Like I care about the Explorers. Okay, cool. Maybe I like that music piece. Okay, I would want to watch you got to have the jumping off point. This is what I care about, not their Roger Corman movies they did in 1958 or whatever. But like, okay. So I wanted to ask you guys about these two. I'll do my last pick, which I guess is not really anything that I've seen again. But once again, it's Gun Crazy, Drew Barrymore. I love her to pieces. James LaGrosse. I don't think we mentioned this one. No, but what I wanted to ask, it's basically Lovers on the Run. There were so many of these movies in the early 90s. I think if you've seen one, you've seen a lot of them, but True Romance stands above them all. But Gun Crazy seems pretty cool. So you must be 18 to rent. You want to rent this probably with your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, it seems like kind of like that a little bit, maybe a little edgy, maybe a little sexy.
A little bit, but we read the Wikipedia description. I started it right before this. I didn't get to finish.
Oh, yeah.
Her dad is sexually abusing her, and she kills him, and then accidentally gets to become a pen pal with an inmate who he starts killing people too. So maybe not the date movie.
Maybe not the date movie then. Okay, so it shows you what I know. Don't listen to me. What I want to ask you guys, how are the transfers on these things by and large? Because these aren't like popular movies. So like, where are they getting their sources from? You think like, what's the deal?
Gun Crazy wasn't great. Most of the other ones I've seen are pretty good. This one says it's a high def presentation of it in the 178 aspect ratio, but the majority of them I've seen are good. But I feel like it depends on what you have to work with. If you know you're getting the title, if you know you're licensing it, if you do all the work on it, and you can only find a VHS copy, you try to do it the best you can. But I don't know. Preston's seen more than I have. What do you think?
No, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty much it. What I said earlier, like they'll probably get one from an actor or another. I'm sure the director had like a decent look of it, and they probably put it on there. But still, like they'll encounter trouble, especially if it was a film made for TV.
Which this was.
Yep.
Yeah. This movie was directed by Tamra Davis. Do y'all know who Tamra Davis is?
Name sounds familiar.
Billy Madison.
She did direct Billy Madison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Crossroads.
Yeah.
So those movies. I couldn't remember if she had done that. I keep thinking somebody else did that, but yeah. So it's somebody who's done something.
Seriously.
Not that Britney Spears Crossroads is worth the shit, but Billy Madison, Mount Rushmore comedy for me. But
on the Rewind Collection, I have it pulled up here. They have 5 coming up. I don't know if you guys want to touch on those as you see what we have to look forward to this summer and early fall. But first up, this July is the House on Sorority Row, which I'm pretty excited about. Cool original looking artwork with kind of the poster with the purple background to it, so that looks really cool. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, me too. Some other distributor put that one out that looked really cool, but yeah, I'm excited. That one looks really good.
That artwork is what's cool. I love that.
Yeah, some of these new ones, and next one up is the same thing, Mortuary. It's got this really cool VHS artwork with the grave and the hand busting through.
That rules.
So that one's going to be coming out in
Bill Paxton is in that shit.
Oh, he is.
Bill Paxton is in it. Yep.
Linda Day George.
Third credit. Yeah, that rules.
Yeah, that one looks cool. Go-Go Boys, the inside story of Canon Films. I have no idea what this is. Have you heard anything about this, Preston?
I haven't. I just saw the title, and it seems interesting to me.
I see Chuck Norris. I see Superman on it. I see. Yeah, I guess it's a documentary.
This is the documentary I was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, this is the documentary. When I said the Canon documentary. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. This movie rules. I've seen it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited to check that one out.
Yeah, this movie's great. I loved it. I rented it one time on iTunes. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's what a good movie. That's so cool. I didn't realize that that's exactly what that was. I think it's played at Fantastic Fest. I think that's where I saw it. Our first year at Fantastic Fest. That's really cool.
It looks like it's from 2014. So
that's about right. That's when we went to Fantastic Fest the first time.
And then wrapping up the last 2, One Dark Night, horror supernatural from Tom McLaughlin.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Preston was talking about this.
Yeah. I love Tom.
Yeah. I totally forgot that these are great. This is so cool.
And then the last one here in August, The Dark, which is an awesome poster, directed by John Bud Cardos and Toby Hooper, apparently. So I don't know if he was a partial director on there for it, if they did it together, or what the story is on that. But man, I'm excited for these. I feel like these upcoming 5 have a lot more potential than some of the other ones I've seen released recently.
Who's in? What year is The Dark from? Is that old?
Yeah, Chilling Tale of Alien Terror, 79.
70. Oh, it's the one with William Devane. Okay. There's so many things called The Dark. Okay. I guess I didn't know about that one coming out. Cool.
Yeah, so that's what we got upcoming from them. So we'll have to obviously be reporting back, watching it on the pod, but a cool label, original label. It's something outside of the usual that you're gonna, have collectors see with maybe Severin or Criterion, Arrow, Shout Factory. So if you're looking for a new label or want to try to find all 27 of these with their slip covers,
the fun part.
The majority of them, good luck.
That's the fun part, man. Random, but speaking of Severin, they're releasing Overboard. Did y'all see that?
I did. I saw it
Overboard with
today.
Kurt Russell. Like, what the hell? That is like really random, but I'm so down anyway.
They do a lot of non-genre stuff, surprisingly.
They do. I had no idea. Yeah, MVD's cool, man. I love them. Before we wrap up here, I know we're kind of going over a little bit. I just wanted to ask you guys in closing about MVD Marquee. Do you guys have any of these?
I have a few. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of them. There's a few in there that they're good movies. Like I love The Illusionist. I still think that's a pretty good movie, and so I have that one.
Do they come with slips too?
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, they come with slips. The artwork isn't as good, and they don't have that kind of cool design element that Preston's talking about. So you have kind of the mixed bag of movies. Yeah, I saw Mortuary from Toby Hooper, a different name film on it, and it was average. And they got IC with Sylvester Stallone, so definitely some hit or miss ones.
Autumn in New York. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's pretty much why I'm not really on board with that line as much, just because they're not as fun to look at. They're just like simply made using the original theatrical artwork and just kind of playing with that. And then when you open it, it's like the bare bones look. But yeah, digging the MVD Rewind Collection. I'll stay there.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, guys, and be sure to check us out next time at Screaming Cinema Podcast.